Hello everyone, this is Aaron again, of course. Today I want to do a video that not many of you guys are going to be interested in, and that's okay. But how this came about is this. Quite a number of people asked me, Aaron, how do I do videos for YouTube? And I always just got back to them really quickly and said, it doesn't take that much and that sort of thing. But I decided today to go through and do a in-depth way of how I did it. But I'm not going to do how I do videos. I'm going to do the progression of it. And what I mean by progression is this. When I first started out doing this, I went as cheaply as I could. My first night vision setup was a Best Techer camera out of China. It cost me $85, and I shot nighttime video with it for $85, and I got a light for it, and it worked. And I did a video on how to do that. Then I also started out like Ted and Matt and all those guys with. I started out with a Casio camera. That's also in the video. I think I paid less than $100 for that camera, and then the setup for putting all that together. And then eventually I went from that setup all the way up to the setup that I'm using today, which is the side shot along with smartphones, night vision stuff through ATN night vision stuff with IR lights, and even the Thor, which is heat seeking. Well, I'm just gonna call it a heat seeking scope, where you can see the reflection of heat on your prey at night. And I can talk about that. I talk about that a little bit also. So those are all things we're going to cover. But and the reason I want to do it is this. Some of you guys out there who might want to try this do not want to invest a lot of money in it. You might want to start out with the $3 phone setup I talked about in a video. And I'll pop those things up later as we go. You may want to start out with the cheapest night vision cost you can start out with. And there's some old Sony cameras out there with night vision that work really, really well with an IR light. And then I'm going to also talk about the camera, like the camera I'm using right now to record this part of it. And how you can find something in a 1080p that would work just as well as this 4K stuff. And you can get a $1,500, as I did, a $1,500 1080p professional camera for pennies on the dollar now that these 4Ks and 5Ks are coming out. And for what we do, 10K is perfect. So we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about how I go about doing this, all the little gadgets I use to get different kind of angles and show you different things as I'm doing it. So bear with me as we go through this, but I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. I'm going to try to give you as many things that you can go and take a look at in other videos to help you along with it if you want to do it. So again, I know not many of you guys are going to be interested in watching this, and that's okay. I'm doing this for those guys who have asked me several times, Aaron, can you tell us how to do videos for YouTube? So with that, let's get started. And what we're going to do, we're going to start with the cheapest way of doing this, and we're going to work our way all the way up to the expensive stuff. And now that we're going to show you examples of it at work, and so you can see what it looks like, how it functions, that sort of thing. So look, I'm excited about this one, even though I don't know only a few people are going to be interested in it. So for you few people, I think this will be a treat for you. So let's get started, because all this stuff I got laying out here is the stuff I got to talk about. All right, let me clear some of this stuff out of the way and go with our first item. Be right back. Okay, we're back, and we want to talk about how I first got started doing this sort of thing, and how at that time I really did not want to invest much money in it, and really didn't have that much money to invest in it. So I watched all the videos, as I'm sure you guys are doing, and I watched Ted and what he was doing over there, and a little bit of what Matt was doing. And it was really, really simple. What they were doing, they were buying Casio cameras. I think I bought the exact same Casio camera that Ted was using. And then you take this is a little pipe fitting, and it'll be in the video I'm going to pop up here. Take this little pipe fitting, I glued it right onto the camera. And then this is a 1 1/4 male. This was a 1 1/4 female rubber device, and this thing slips perfectly onto here, and this fits perfectly onto the scope. Held the camera, hit record, that sort of thing. So two things. First, I want to post right here that video where I talked about setting that up. And then I want to show you just a little bit of video from that camera, me actually out and doing some testing with it at the time. Okay, so as you saw in the video, that little Casio camera did a great job. Now, after that, I said, hey, you know, I'd like to get into some night vision. And so with the night vision, I came up with a thing. It was a Best Techer. It was on about 5 or 6 different names. I'll pop the video up here in a second. I mean, the actual video that I actually did on this. I'll pop that up in a second. But this little Best Techer camera made out of China. I think I paid 80 bucks for it. Same thing. We took one of these, glued it onto the front. Took one of these 1/4 female rubber fittings, put it on there. It fitted perfectly over the scopes. If I had a scope up here, I'll show you just how snug this thing would fit onto a scope. And I did my night vision. So the video is right here. Now, that I did all that. And let me just play you a little bit of night vision video from that little $80 camera that I had set up. And really didn't do much hunting with it, but I did a lot of playing around with it. So here's about a couple of seconds of that video. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, where I started out, my first camera, I think I bought that camera for about that Casio camera for about $100. And you can still find those, and also that Best Techer camera, I paid $80 for it new, and both of those things worked out so well. So for basically $180 and some pipe fittings from a local hardware store, I was able to do day and nighttime recording. But the nice thing about the Best Techer video camera was it would shoot day or night vision. Put it on night vision for day or day for night. So also, let me show you a little bit of that thing in day vision right here. But with all the scope cams from the ones I've started with that were cheap, like the Casio and the Best Techer and that sort of thing, all the way up to the more expensive things I got here, like side shots and that sort of thing. The single best thing I can recommend for anybody out there who wants to go out tomorrow and start shooting videos very, very cheaply is a video that I did that showed you how to build this under $5, I think it was, scope cam using your cell phone. And basically all it is a cell phone holder that you're ready to get rid of, and you're just going to take it and you're going to super glue, or I'd use epoxy glue, this fitting to it, which fits into this fitting, and then this fits over your scope, and your phone sits back there, and you look at your phone and you shoot. Okay, that video is right here. I don't put any links. Just this is a video. If you want to go search for all my videos, this is a video that you want to take a look at on how to build this. And I guarantee you that you'll build this. You'll be in the backyard recording your shots as soon as this glue dries, if you do everything properly and follow the instructions on there. Okay, as you can see, that thing worked really, really well for that little bit of money, and it got me started. You know, but the only thing I hated about those things were, but at the time they were the only thing you could go with. Then finally the technology started to catch up with that, and we started getting scope cams and that sort of thing that were affordable. And so that was my start. Then eventually I was able to get. They came out with I think one of the greatest inventions there is. Let me just grab it over here. I really love this thing, and this is what I use it for everything now. This slides onto the gun, of course, and this is a side shot. You use your cell phone to record, and what I did was I went on the internet and I bought 3 of these old outdated phones. Any phone that's 1080p, but if you buy it, make sure you get a couple if you're going to be going out in the field, because sometimes the battery life on these, depending on how bright that screen is, will not last long. So you're going to want to get 3 or 4 of these. I think I got 4 of these for $100, $25 each. And they're 1080p, so everything is clear. And you get them mounted on here, and they do the job. And as if you look, I'm not going to pop one up here on this thing, because if you've been watching my videos, all my videos are done with it. The only bad thing about this thing is it reverses everything, because there's a mirror in here, so it flips the image. So if I were to show you a sign, that sign would read backwards. And at the time, I did not have a video that could. I did not have a editing program that would handle that, and so I had to leave it that way. And since we talk about editing program, let me hop right into this now. Okay, one of the things that you're gonna need, reach over here and get it, is an editing program. Okay, now you can't do some editing right in the camera on some of them, but if you want to bring in other stuff and come back to what a studio-like thing I talk about here, you can do that also. But this to me, this is the best one out there. It's Power Director 18. Now I have Power Director, I think 14, and each time you go up, it does more. The thing I like about this one is all of them do slow-mo. All of them do all the things. You can color correct. You can brighten. You can darken. You can do all those things. But what I like about this one also add that flip feature. So if I'm using this, I can actually flip the video using 18. And the great thing about the 18 is this. There's a guy. I'll post him right here. This guy here, you buy this, you never have to read the instructions or anything. You got any question about it, pop on this guy's here channel. Plus there's a bunch of us out there. I just love this guy. Whenever I need to find out how to hit slow-mo, how to flip it, how to lighten it, how to brighten it, how to do, I go right to his tutorials, and I use this guy right here. Okay, we're back, and like I said, this Power Director is a great program. I don't think you need to get 18. I think that you'll get by really, really well with 10, 12, or 14. There's a lot of features on here you're never going to use, and so you might as well get the cheapest one out there, and I think you can get them for probably $25 or less on the older versions, and they work just as well. So take a look at that. All right. Well, anyway, let's get back to this in terms of our scope cams and night visions and stuff. After using those cheaper night visions and things, which really, really worked out well for me, I decided, hey, if I'm going to be serious with this channel, I better go ahead and get a good scope. So I went ahead and spent the money and got this ATN Excite 4K. This thing is great. The night vision on it is 4K. The day vision on it is not 4K. It's not quite as clear as my phone in 1080p. But it does a great job for day and night. You can buy this thing and you're all done. There's so many great features on this thing. It can do so many things for you. It can even estimate ranges for you and make adjustments for that range and all kinds of stuff. And I talked about that in a couple of videos I did. And here's one of the videos I did you might want to check out right here. Okay, but in that video I talk about that. I talk about illuminators also big time, and I talk about 3. Now for this one I have 3 illuminators, but the ones I use most is this big fella here. This thing here is good out, but this is good out to 300 yards and beyond. And it works really, really well. Then I got a smaller one here that's good out to about 100 yards or so. And then I got an even smaller one here that's good out to, I use this one for really close up, maybe inside 50 yards. Okay, now let me just talk about how you're going to mount this. You're going to need, whatever scope you're going to need, you're going to need an adapter. This is the adapter that fits on the gun, and it's got Picatinny on the top, which allows you to lock this thing into that Picatinny and be ready to go out and shoot. And take it off when you in the daytime when you don't need it anymore. So, but let me do this and we'll move on. Let me show you a couple of videos of this thing, day vision and night vision, and then we'll come back. So check it out. That's 14 power. Now I'm gonna zoom it out slowly at 14 power and just see what the clarity is. Every second I'll go to. And that's 4 power. We have a deer tonight eating on some of the corn that I put out. So most of the time it's about 4 of them, but tonight we only have 1, unless there are more back. I guess this one survived the hunting season, huh? But I tell you this, for what I've seen, my little $100 Casio camera was doing just as well for day, and that little $80 camera was doing right. It's just that it was kind of difficult to use when your eye is back here and you're trying to get it back off the camera and look through the camera and all that sort of thing. That was kind of difficult. That's what eventually, when I got really serious, made me go to this. Okay, let's move on. Okay, next let's talk about filming at home. What I mean by filming at home is these introductory ones I'll be doing from the house here. Okay, for me, I know you can choose your backdrops. I know some guys, they put different kinds of manufacturers and stuff back here. They put their guns back here or whatever as a backdrop. Some use camo, that sort of thing. I'm a retired photographer, so I had backdrops. So I'm accustomed to using backdrops. So I got a backdrop here for photography that I use. But beyond the backdrop, what you choose to put in your background, you have to choose a camera that you're shooting with. Now, you can go out and you can spend some money. You can go out and you can spend some money on a camera. Okay? All right. This here is a 4K. I haven't started using it yet. I got a good deal on this on eBay, and so I got it for the future. But right now, I'm not ready to go 4K, so I'm not using it. The camera you're looking at right there is a $1,500 camera that I got for I think $200 because it's a 1080p, and now the 1080p is on the outs and 4K is now on the outs because they're trying to come up with 5K and all this other stuff. But for what I do, 4K is good enough. So you can go on eBay and you can find a 1080p camera that's professional, that's going to be clear as hell, because it was just the quality of it that it was built. Okay, but if I had to do all over again, I wouldn't even look for that camera. At the time, I did not know the capability of these iPhones and what they can do. Okay, so whenever you see me here, I'm using this Panasonic camera. But if you'll ever see me in the field, where I'm at the range and I'm recording from a phone. Okay, and I also tried using the GoPro. Okay, I'm telling you guys right now, for filming yourself, don't even think about the GoPro. And I'll tell you why. If I go out in the field and I decide to film myself on this, and I got you can find these little tripods to hold these things anywhere. I turn this thing on and I aim it at me. I can see the image that I'm trying to shoot, and I can adjust it back and forward. And then when I get ready, I can start this thing, and this thing here will film just as good as that thing there in 1080p. Okay? You can't frame your shots with this. When you look at this camera, you don't know where it's pointed because there's no feedback. The feedback is in the back of the camera where you can't even see it. So don't waste your time on this as far as doing your studio production. And I'm telling you guys this, for the most part, one phone will do everything. If you get a side shot, it fits into the side shot. When you come home, you do the narrative that I'm doing now. Set this little thing up, and it will record. The mics on these things are amazing. So everything you want to do is right there. Just get your tripod, mount your phone on it. So that phone records great. And if you got, and the more you got, let's say you're shooting targets down range, get you a little cheap phone, set this down there, aim this at your target, take the other phone, aim it at you, do your shooting. Now when you get home, use your program to bring those two together, and you got you shooting, and then down range, you got the shots. I'll show you that right here. Okay, we're back. I've loaded it up. I got this thing ready to go. Let's see what she does. Okay, that wasn't bad. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so as you can see, your phone is going to do all this for you. Don't go out and spend any extra money on a camera. Don't need it. You got an iPhone, you got everything you need. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now, we're in the field and we're shooting, and we want to be able to record ourselves in the field shooting. Actually shooting. So, for that, you're going to need a camera. All you need, again, is your iPhone and a tripod. Okay? And then all you're going to do, and there's all kind of adapters for this. I have hooked this up, as I'm going to show you in a second, but this will sit on top of there. You can set it up, look at it, know you're in frame, and then take a few pictures of your shooting. And then you can actually take the shot and then cut from here to the actual shot. Okay? That's only if you want to break away from just the shooting and shooting, just scope shot, and you want to get some other shots of yourself actually doing that. Or either set this thing up and show yourself walking through the woods as you walk away or walking towards it, looking up in the trees, just to show the hunting process of what you're doing, like if you're squirrel hunting or whatever. All right. The other thing you want to do, especially if you're like me, I do a lot of shooting from my car. Okay, and this is the best thing I found for that. Okay, and again, these things can be found anywhere. Most of the stuff I got here, I found at garage sales and flea markets and thrift stores. But I don't think I bought anything. Any of this stuff here new. Nothing I have here is new, except for the stuff I had to buy, like the scopes and that sort of thing. But anyway, this is the one I use when I'm in my truck. Okay, so if you see me in my truck and I say, hey, there's a bird up there and I'm going to try to take him, this is what I'm using. What this thing does here, it's got a suction cup on it. So I set it on the window across from me. And I suction it onto the window and I adjust this to where it's got me in it good. I'm looking over. And then all my introductions and all the shooting I do have been shot with this. I'll pop one up here right now in case you don't remember what they look like. Okay, so imagine this little cheap $500 gun that everybody dogged. Well, not I don't say everybody. A lot of people dogged when I first came out. No quality. How can you shoot that thing? It's no good. Da 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 da. The thing is still shooting perfectly after thousands of rounds in 3 years. Okay, so with this, all I gotta do is hit record, talk into it, and then shoot, and then do the cut from here to the actual shot. And this is really good. As I'm driving around in the truck, I can have this on and be talking to you about what I'm doing and where I'm going and that sort of thing. This thing here is wonderful for that. And like I said, it's just a stick on it. It's a phone holder. So that's another great thing that I really love for when I'm in the field. And that allows me to take those nice shots from my truck. Okay, another thing that's going to come in handy, very handy, is going to be the selfie stick. I use this thing all the time for introductions. Of late, I've been using a lot of introductions from the truck where I just have them stuck when I turn to it, say, hey, we're out here today at the farm and we're going to be doing this many birds around. Whenever I did the one with the cows, where I was doing an opening or closing with the cows, I always use a selfie stick, let this thing out, put it out here, walk and talk into it about what you're doing. Selfie sticks are great. So let me just show you how I use that right here. Well, it wasn't a bad day today. The birds are flocking, so it's really, really tough to get some shots in on them. You shoot, and all 50 or 60 or 70 or 100 of them flies away. Okay, that's the kind of shots you're going to get with the selfie stick and how you can use that. Now, all this equipment I'm talking about, I'm telling you all the stuff I have. I don't use it all the time, but it's good to have it, and it doesn't cost much if you're thrifty about it, and take a look around for it if you have time. Okay, something else. I don't use this that much, but if you, especially let's say you're going rabbit hunting or squirrel hunting or something like that, where you're actually looking for them and you finally see them, and you want to show a view other than just through the actual scope. I haven't used this very much, but this is a time where the GoPro does come in handy, only because of the mount. I'm telling you, I want to talk about. Okay, you turn your head backwards like this. You take this thing, you pop it on your head like this, and now everywhere you look, it's going to look too. So if you're going through the woods and you're looking for squirrels or something, or walking looking for rabbits or whatever you're looking for, this thing here will be looking along, hit play. And for these GoPros, buy the old ones. Get the 1080p ones. Don't get the 4K ones and all that. Because for what we do, 1080p is good enough. And you get those cameras for nothing. These 4Ks and 5Ks running $700, $600, $500 and stuff. I wouldn't do it. Go get you one of these for about $100. But anyway, that's what that's good for. To show another perspective of you actually doing the hunt. Okay, closing this thing out, I just want to say that there's a few things that you're going to need for when you got a setup like this right here, because lighting is everything, you guys. And you want your light, and you really want your light sources. I said I'm a photographer. You want your light sources to come in from the sides, and the reason you want that because you don't want a shadow behind you. If you got light here, you're gonna have a shadow. Unless you get it perfect, up, straight down, and get it perfect, you're gonna have a shadow back here. Okay, I have lights. I have 2 lights here and 2 lights here, which come across and throw my shadow over there and over there, so I don't get that shadow effect in the back. So you want to do that. Let me just show you what I use. Again, I picked these things up at garage sales and that. I probably have 6 of them now. All this is a light, LED light, stands up. You plug it in, turn it on, and I got them fairly close. These here are probably only 4 feet away from me on both sides. Get a few of these, shine them your way, and what it's going to do is it's going to be a cheap way of lighting yourself. But you can get a lamp. If you got 2 lamps, you get a lamp right there. Get some aluminum foil. Put aluminum foil behind the light so it projects it this way. And it's the same thing. But you are going to need a lighting source. So we talked about backgrounds earlier. You're going to need a lighting source. You're either going to use some kind of platform. Right now I'm on a table, and underneath this here is my gun case for one of my guns, plastic gun case. And I just lay this over it. Now I can use this as a way of as a platform for showing you things. So we talked about lights. We talked about the setup here. We talked about the setup there. I think that's about it, except for you're gonna need a computer to go with it. And when you buy the program, I get this program up here again. When you buy your program, now if you're not gonna be flipping or anything like that, if you just want a basic program, you do not have to get this 18. You can get the Power Director 12, 14, and you can get those to be like 30 bucks. I think I paid $129 for this when I got it. But it has so many more features that I can use now. But if you're just starting out, Power Director 12 for almost nothing. You can find them on eBay, and it's under Power Director. That will take care of that for you. So and on there is going to specify what you need in terms of a computer, what the processor speed has to be, how much memory you need. So that's basically everything you're going to need, and that's how I do it. If you have any questions, put it in the comments section. I'll try to answer it for you. But I would just say this in closing. All you need is to buy this little bipod here, a selfie stick, and maybe a couple other things. You're ready to go. I mean, just that. Your biggest expense is your phone. You already have that. Buy these little things here. You're out and you're shooting videos, and you're posting videos in no time. It's very, very simple. You ain't got to get into all the stuff I just showed you. I just showed you that because that's how I progressed through it. But when I first got started, as you saw, I spent very little money, and I turned out some pretty good videos. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go and tell you that I really enjoyed doing this. I have some other videos I'm working on to get out there for you. And I just want you guys to keep commenting. And if you know anybody who might like the content of this, please share this with them. And we'll try to keep them coming. With that, I just want to say keep it safe, and we'll see you soon.